Have you ever wondered why some people seem to attract breakthroughs, opportunities, and success even when they don't look the smartest in the room? It's not luck. It's not fate. It's focus. What you focus on, you attract. And if you're not careful, your focus can become your prison or your path to freedom. Listen to me. Your life right now is the sum total of what you've been focusing on, not what you've been wishing for, not what you've been praying for, but what you've repeatedly, obsessively, habitually focused on. And that's why you must hear this message until the end. Because today, I'll not only show you how powerful your focus is, I'll show you how it's either making you or quietly breaking you, one invisible choice at a time. Let me take you back to something simple. The mind is like a magnet. It pulls in the experiences that match its frequency. So if you're constantly thinking about what you don't want, guess what? That's what keeps knocking on your door. If you're focused on fear, you attract anxiety. If you're focused on doubt, you invite failure. But if you focus on possibility, on action, on growth, you pull those forces toward you like gravity. The world doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you focus on. And focus is not a moment. It's not a few minutes of motivation. It's a discipline, a choice, a muscle you train until your environment bends to your mindset. There are people right now less talented than you, less experienced than you, living the life you want, not because they're better, but because they focus better. They focus longer. They don't let distractions steal their attention. They don't let opinions dilute their vision. They stay locked in day after day, week after week, until the world adjusts itself to their determination. So what are you attracting right now without realizing it? You say you want to win, but is your focus matching that hunger? Are you focused on the outcome, or are you obsessed with the process? This isn't about staying positive and hoping for the best. This is about weaponizing your focus so sharply that it cuts through resistance. Because when you direct all your energy, mental, emotional, physical, toward a vision, the universe can't ignore it. People respond. Circumstances bend. The impossible starts to move. But it all begins with focus. So, are you drifting through life hoping something clicks? Or are you dialed in like a laser, refusing to let your energy be wasted on things that don't build your future? Stay with me. Because if you shift your focus today, you shift your life tomorrow. And I promise you, when you learn to master your focus, the world will begin to magnetize everything you've ever dreamed of. Not someday, but now. Your mind is a magnet. It doesn't attract what you want, it attracts what you are and what you consistently think about. If your thoughts are fixed on problems, you invite more problems. If your energy is wrapped in fear, you create situations that feed that fear. But when your thoughts are aligned with growth, with abundance, with purpose, you begin to attract results that match that mindset. This is not about magic. This is about the psychological power of focus. Every time you think a thought, you're wiring your brain. You're forming a pattern. And when that pattern becomes consistent, it becomes your default setting. That's what you start to live out automatically every single day. Think about this. Why do you keep ending up in the same situations over and over again? Why do similar challenges repeat? Like life is testing you on a loop? It's not coincidence. It's your focus recycling your reality. If you constantly worry about being broke, you make decisions from scarcity. If you focus on being misunderstood, you begin to isolate yourself. If you focus on why you can't succeed, your brain will offer every reason to back that up. You don't need enemies out there when the real battle is happening in your own head. But here's the flip side. The same way negative focus brings negative results, intentional focus brings intentional outcomes. You want success? Then you can't just casually think about it. You need to lock in on it. See it, breathe it, build routines around it. Let it shape the way you move, the way you talk, the way you respond to adversity. People who truly attract what they want don't just wish for it. They become so consumed by the vision that it becomes a reality in motion. The people you admire, the ones who seem to be lucky or gifted, they've trained their focus. When challenges hit, they don't ask, why me? They ask, what now? They don't focus on the weight of the problem. They focus on the direction of the solution. They don't obsess over what they lack. They maximize what they have. And slowly, consistently, their focus starts changing the world around them. Opportunities open up. People take notice. Doors appear where there were only walls before. Focus is not about fixing everything in one day. It's about choosing every single day to feed the thoughts that lead you forward, not the ones that pull you back. Your energy is limited. Your attention is valuable. Stop wasting it on things that drain you. Start investing it in things that grow you. Remember, what you dwell on, you develop. What you repeat, you reinforce. And what you focus on, you attract. Train your mind like it matters, because it does. Your future is watching. Focus isn't just a mental activity, it's a full-body commitment. Energy flows where attention goes. That's why when you fix your attention on something long enough, everything inside you starts to align with it. Your habits, your words, your emotions, your decisions. Most people don't understand how expensive their attention is. They give it away to distractions, gossip, comparison, and meaningless noise, and then wonder why their lives feel directionless. But successful people guard their focus like gold, because they know where your attention lives, your future grows. Think about your day. How much of your energy is being scattered across things that don't build your dream? Every message you read, every notification you check, every argument you entertain, every piece of drama you get pulled into, that's your energy being hijacked. And energy is life. You don't lose time, you lose focus. And when you lose focus, you delay your destiny. The people who attract momentum, breakthroughs, and results aren't superhuman. They're simply consistent. They direct their full energy toward one meaningful pursuit, and they do it day after day. They make it a ritual, not a random act. They build an ecosystem around their focus, what they listen to, who they talk to, how they schedule their time. It's all engineered to support that one direction. That's not obsession. That's precision. That's how movements are born, how businesses are built, how lives are transformed. You don't need to chase a million things. You need to master one. And that mastery begins with radical focus. The kind of focus that says no without guilt. The kind of focus that doesn't require motivation, it moves with clarity. When you have clarity, you don't need hype. You don't need approval. You don't need applause. You move because you know where you're going. And that kind of clarity becomes magnetic. It attracts the right people, the right resources, and the right timing. But you have to be willing to filter. Filter your environment. Filter your thoughts. Filter your inputs. Because every time you let noise into your mental space, it dilutes your power. You're not just fighting for success, you're fighting to stay focused in a world designed to distract you. If you win that battle, you win the war. You want to change your life? Then change what you give your attention to. Start building systems that protect your focus. Block out the noise. Set boundaries. Turn off what doesn't grow you. And then pour your energy into what does. Whether it's a skill, a vision, a business, a transformation, pour yourself into it like nothing else matters. Because here's the truth, it's not enough to want something. Everyone wants, but few are willing to focus. And those who do, they don't just get results. They become forces of nature, unstoppable, unshakable, and unbelievably focused. Let the world chase distractions. You chase legacy. Distraction is the enemy of destiny, not because it's loud or obvious, but because it's quiet and constant. It sneaks into your day disguised as urgency. It disguises itself as entertainment, as multitasking, as keeping up. But the cost is massive because every time you shift your focus away from your purpose, you fracture your power. The people who never reach their full potential aren't always lazy or unmotivated. Often, they're just distracted consistently and invisibly. They spend their best energy on things that don't matter and wonder why nothing is changing. Look around. The world is noisy, flooded with information, endless scrolling, non-stop updates. And in that noise, most people forget who they are. They forget what they're building. They forget why they even started. When you let distractions define your routine, your mind becomes a reactive machine. You're no longer driving your life. You're being driven by notifications, expectations, and emotional triggers. Days turn into weeks and weeks into years and nothing real moves forward. The truth is, we are all being trained, either by design or by default. You're either designing a life that forces you to focus, or you're living by default, drifting in the current of other people's priorities. And drifting doesn't lead to destiny, it leads to disappointment. The people who shape the world don't have more hours in a day. They simply refuse to give those hours away to anything that weakens their focus. You have to understand this. Success is a game of attention, not talent, not connections, not even luck. It's who can hold their focus long enough without quitting, without being shaken, without needing external validation. Every breakthrough you want is on the other side of a distraction you've got to cut off. That means being ruthless with your schedule. That means saying no to things that look good but don't build where you're going. That means choosing silence over noise, depth over speed, clarity over chaos. You'll never build anything worthwhile if you're always reacting. You need time to think deeply, to create with intention, to refine your vision. And that requires space, mental space, emotional space, time space. If you fill every moment with consumption, there's no room for creation. If you keep chasing everything, you'll never become anything. Start small. Audit your distractions. Who drains you? What pulls you off track? What habits feel productive but actually keep you stuck? Then cut. Not out of anger, but out of alignment. Because your destiny is too important to be sacrificed for convenience or comfort. It's not about being perfect. It's about being intentional. If you want to attract greatness, you need to focus like your life depends on it. Because it does. So protect your attention. Guard your focus. Be fierce with what you allow into your world. You don't need to do more. You need to do less, but with relentless consistency. That's how empires are built. That's how transformations happen. Not in a rush, not in noise, but in silence, in stillness, in focused discipline that compounds over time. Belief without focus is like having fuel but no engine. You can believe in yourself, your dreams, your goals, but if your focus is scattered, nothing moves forward. Belief gives you direction, but focus gives you momentum. When these two forces align, you create an unstoppable flow. That's when things start to happen faster, deeper, and more powerfully than you expected. But the truth is, most people stop at belief. They believe on Sunday, get inspired on Monday, and by Tuesday, they're back to reacting to life instead of creating it. Why? Because they don't back their belief with focused action. When you really believe in something, it should dominate your time. It should be reflected in how you speak, how you plan, how you respond to setbacks. If it doesn't shape your daily decisions, then it's not belief, it's just a wish. Belief says it's possible. Focus says, let's build it. When you combine both, you stop waiting for the right time, you become the right time. You move. You act. You evolve. Belief gives you the inner permission to dream. Focus gives you the structure to manifest. Together, they rewire how you show up in the world. Most people get excited when they hear a motivational quote or watch a speech. But that's not transformation, that's just activation. What really transforms your life is when that spark turns into sustained focus. When your belief isn't just something you feel emotionally, but something you prove daily through disciplined attention. Here's where most people fall apart. They believe they're capable of great things, but they keep focusing on what's wrong. They believe in success, but they focus on failure. They believe in growth, but they focus on what others think. And that split between belief and focus is where dreams die. It creates internal conflict. You say one thing, but you do another. And that inconsistency creates frustration, fatigue, and eventually you stop believing altogether. But when you realign, when your focus backs your belief, you create a compound effect. You stop entertaining distractions. You stop seeking approval. You start moving with purpose. Every hour becomes intentional. Every challenge becomes fuel. Every delay becomes a lesson. And your life begins to reflect the depth of your internal alignment. Ask yourself this: do your daily habits match what you say you believe in? If not, it's time to shift. Don't just believe in your goals, build for them. Don't just talk about success, focus on the actions that create it. This world is full of people with dreams, but very few with discipline. And fewer still with both belief and focus working in harmony. If you want to attract better results, then you must focus like it's already yours. See it, feel it, act on it before it arrives. That's how you draw it closer. That's how you transform desire into destiny. When belief and focus lock arms, the universe doesn't just notice, it responds. Because what you repeatedly focus on, you begin to build, even if you don't see results right away. Most people confuse desire with direction. They say they want to be successful, but they focus on distractions. They want clarity, but they focus on chaos. They want peace, but they keep entertaining conflict. Your focus reveals the truth about what you're committed to. It's not your words that shape your future, it's your consistent attention. You attract what you prioritize, not what you daydream about. Here's what you need to understand: the brain doesn't respond to vague intentions. It responds to what you feed it daily. If you keep focusing on what's missing, your brain becomes trained to see lack. If you keep focusing on what's wrong, you'll find problems even where there aren't any. But if you train yourself to focus on possibilities, you begin to see opportunities everywhere. This isn't optimism, it's neurobiology. Your focus filters your reality. It trains your subconscious mind on what to recognize, what to respond to, and what to reject. You already have a focus right now. The question is it serving you or sabotaging you? Every time you open your phone, every conversation you entertain, every piece of content you consume, that's shaping your focus. And your focus is shaping your future. That's why your attention is the most valuable thing you own. Not your time. Not your talent. Your attention. Because where your attention goes, your decisions follow. And where your decisions go, your life follows. This is why goals without focus are empty. You can have vision boards, affirmations, all the inspiration in the world. But if your focus isn't locked in, nothing moves. Focus is what turns goals into routines and routines into reality. It's the bridge between who you are and who you want to become. Without it, you're just stuck in a loop of frustration chasing the idea of change, but never actually experiencing it. So if you're tired of waiting, if you're done with wishing, then do this. Redirect your focus. Every day. On purpose. Create a pattern so strong that distractions get bored trying to pull you away. Build a routine so focused that your life can't help but reflect it. Train your mind to stay locked on the result long enough for the world to catch up. Because at the end of the day, you won't rise to the level of your dreams, you'll rise to the level of your focus. And when that focus becomes unshakable, what you once chased will start chasing you.